Nobel laureate Professor Soyinka says the United States of America has revoked his visa, making his entry into the country impossible.
So guys, finally, Professor Soyinka has come out to reveal reasons he believes for which America decided to revoke his visa. In case you don't know, America has revoked the visa of Professor Soyinka, meaning at the moment he can no longer visit the United States. So he said he was now trying to recollect if there were crimes he did against the U.S. And guess what? He shockingly revealed some things he perceived must have angered Trump's government to have revoked his visa. I'm just going to allow you to take a look at this video. Listen to him speak directly to Nigerians, because after this revocation, he had like a press conference where he spoke to the media and spoke to people and also took some questions from them. Take your time and watch this video just for you to know that the United States is not playing. If you apply for visa, they will go to your social media handles, you know, and check all your statements, your posts, even if they were posted years back. The United States is going to dig out them to ensure it does not pose any threat to them. So Soyinka himself has revealed what he thinks is the reason behind his visa revocation. But before we get into this video, there is a video trending on the social media where Soyinka in 2026 said if Trump wins his first term, that he's going to give up his U.S. green card, meaning he's going to reject or return or tear or whatever language you want to use, as in he's not going to be using the United States green card anymore should Trump win. That was when Trump came in as the president of the United States first term. And this video has been circulating on the social media that Soyinka once rejected the United States green card. And why is he now lamenting as U.S. revoked his visiting visa? Now, this person who posted this post said, confirmation video of Professor Soyinka in 2016 giving up his U.S. green card. Fast forward to 2025, 9 years later. So he gave up his green card and he's no longer interested in coming to the U.S. And now in 2025, after the revocation, he's saying he doesn't know why the United States should decide to revoke his visa. Anyway, I'm going to allow you to take a look at this video coming from 2016, and then you are going to be listening to Soyinka's press conference yesterday, speaking to Nigerians and, you know, lamenting on why should the U.S. even revoke his visiting visa. Take your time, watch these videos and reconcile both. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification. Thank you.
The final question, do you still intend to cut up your green card? He's now been elected as president of the U.S.
I've done it.
You've done it?
I've done it.
Denouncing your...
I've done it. When I was ready, when I finished, I negotiated my departure. Yeah, I cut it up.
On that principle that you simply could not fathom leaving?
I just, it's, people don't, I respond to environment, maybe in an oversensitive way and so on. I respond to my environment. If it's not at least close to what I consider possible, I don't even enjoy my glass of wine in that environment. So we're not talking profound issues now. I'm just saying that I'm not at ease in that environment. And if I have alternatives, why should I stay in an environment that doesn't make me comfortable? Why? I mean, it doesn't make sense to me.
So no longer a U.S. citizen in any kind?
And I've already packed my rules. I've negotiated, as I said, my engagements. I did the last one in New York University, you know, and that's it. So it's necessary for me to give this press conference so that people in the States who are expecting me for this event or that event or were thinking of it, not to waste their time. I have no visa. I am banned, obviously, from the United States. And if you want to see me, you know where to find me. That's elementary as that. There's a comment which is necessary. So I ask myself, however, you know, the visa doling department is now looking into past history, because this is a statement there. Certain facts have come up. I mean, we're talking about thousands of people, by the way. I want us always to bear that in mind. So they've dug backwards. And if you remember, there were statements to the effect that anybody with any past criminal act, even felony, just misdemeanor, was qualified for revocation of visa. So I had to start looking back. Have I ever misbehaved in the United States? Do I have a history? Have I been convicted? Have I gone against the law anywhere? And I remembered finally 2 instances, which I want to make public now, in case it is brought up later on. So they will say, you hid that one. I remember pleading guilty at the airport one day. I was landing in Chicago. That's my first major production in the United States. We were in rehearsals at the time, Death and the King's Horseman. And the night before I left, I had to dash to London and then return for rehearsals. The night before, I'd gone to an Indian restaurant in London. And as usual, when I go to, when I am in those cold, wintry countries, I always carry peppers with me. At that restaurant, which is Indian, when I was leaving, I put a few green chilies in my pocket just to keep me going when I got back to Chicago. I forgot to declare those chilies. So I'm warning you now that you may learn that I was convicted for carrying some small chilies, because at the airport they wanted to charge me to court. And they said, but I could plead guilty and pay a fine. I think I remembered paying about $25 or so, for a few chilies. So that's one. That was one possible crime that could have been dug up, and I'd forgotten all about it, quite frankly. That's my fault. So that's one. 2, AMSAC. AMSAC is acronym for American Society for African Culture. AMSAC had a huge international conference, I think some years also just before that, early 70s. I'm not good at dates. Anyway, and it took place in Atlanta, Americana, a motel in Atlanta at the time. And I fought at home in Fiscaleo. I had, shall we say, a confrontation with the police, some racist conduct by the receptionist led to the police being called. And this police came and was trying to throw his weight around and so on. So I can be convicted, if you like, for, shall we say, for disobeying orders from law officers of the United States. This was at least 30 years ago. And eventually, I ended up, as a matter of fact, what is the expression again? Integrating the swimming pool of that Atlanta. I tell you who was there at the time, at the incident. Emeka Anyaoku, the former Secretary General of the Commonwealth. In fact, it was he and the late Kola Day who stepped in and sort of diffused the situation. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the only 2 crimes I can consider myself guilty of in all the years, decades I've been going to the United States. So obviously, it could not have been. I don't believe that they would have dug so far back into my murky past to unearth these 2 great crimes and then revoke my visa. So the reason had to be somewhere else. So I began to cast what have I done in recent times? Then my mind went to Oscar Arias, the former president of Costa Rica, I think Costa Rica, Arias, the Peace Nobel laureate, whose visa also was revoked. And why was his visa revoked? Because he said that Donald Trump was ruling like an emperor. It served him right. I mean, how be calling the whole president of the United States an emperor? That was not very nice. So I looked to see whether I had committed any similar crime. And I remembered that I referred to him as the white version of Idi Amin. Now, you know, dictators are very difficult to please. I would have thought that he was pleased. I mean, Idi Amin was a man of international stature, a statesman, a first-class Democrat, you know. He was also, he called himself the King of Scotland. He called himself a liberator. He said, in fact, he was going to liberate Scotland from the grip of the British. In other words, we should look at Idi Amin as along the line of historic liberators. He was liberating everybody everywhere. Some of them, he even liberated their lives from them, you know, and sent them to places of no return. So when I called Donald Trump Idi Amin, I thought I was paying him a compliment. So why now, if they had contacted me, I would have said, look, I'll look for a new title for you. Maybe give you a more contemporary emperor, like Emperor Bokassa. But I thought that Idi Amin was sufficiently universal. And the man had said, Donald Trump, he was going to rule like a dictator. He's been behaving like a dictator. He should be proud to be acknowledged, a dictator, first class. Somebody whom, as I said, even launched the era of Heraclitus in the United States by making permanent resident cards non-permanent, showing that no condition is permanent. So I thought I would let all of you know the possible catalogue of my crimes. Only one conviction, which I signed guilty at the airport for carrying a few papers. Otherwise, I don't know what else I could have done. But maybe I've also written plays about Idi Amin. Maybe it's about time I also write a play about Donald Trump. When he hears that I'm paying him the same literary compliment as I paid Idi Amin, maybe we'll reconsider and return my visa. Otherwise, I want to assure the consulate and the Americans here that I am very content with the revocation of my visa. And that, as I said, they are always welcome as individuals, as citizens, to interact on any number of levels that they wish, short, of course, of my going over there to the United States. I think that's all I want to say really about this whole issue. I said I would reserve a section of the letter to the last, rather than read it continuously. And you will understand why when I read it. That's the other thing I like about what's happened here. Aha. After that section which I read, it goes on to say, we request you bring your visa to the U.S. Consulate General, Lagos, for physical cancellation. To schedule an appointment, please email, etc., advance of the appointment. I like people who have a sense of humor. And this is one of the most humorous sentences or requests I've had in all my life, that I should bring my passport to the consulate to have it stamped on a page, cancelled. Will any of you like to volunteer in my place and take the passport from me? Because I'm a little bit busy and rushed. So anybody who wants to undertake this for me, you know, you're welcome to do so. But as I said, one must develop a sense of humor, and I like them for that. Whoever devised this is after my own heart, that sentence, that request. Bring your visa to us so we can stamp it. Yeah, okay, good morning. Good morning. Thanks for turning up, as usual. Basically, I think what I should do is just read you the first line of a rather curious love letter I received from an embassy. And then we'll take it and elaborate from there. It'll sum up the agenda of this morning. Yes, Consulate General of the United States of America, Lagos, Nigeria, October 23, 2025.
Hold on.
Yeah?
Oh.
All right. Consulate General of, you see what I talk about? What you freeze? I'll talk about this technology. All right. Sabotage. Okay, I can still read from here. So it's from the Consulate General of the United States of America in Lagos. Dear Mr. Soyinka, this letter serves as official notification by the United States Consulate General in Lagos that the nominated visa listed below has been revoked pursuant to the authority contained in the U.S. Department of State Regulation, blah, 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 and it's no longer valid for application for entry into the United States, etc. Additional information became available. I repeat that, additional information became available after the below visa was issued. The revocation refers only to visa listed below. Name of visa holder, Wole Soyinka. Date and place of birth, 13 July 34, Nigeria. Visa classification, symbol B1/B2. I'm giving these details because I'll be referring to that visa shortly. Date and place of visa issuance, 2nd April 2024, Lagos. I will read the latter part later on for dramatic reasons. I don't want to read it now. I want to read it towards the very end. Now, I think it's important for me to begin by reminding us about the history of this visa, which was issued when an accident happened to my green card, which some of you might remember. And so it became no longer valid. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it, not long after that, maybe by accident, or maybe it's related or not, I got a letter from the Internal Revenue Service of the United States of America saying that an audit of my tax returns was about to take place, going back about 5 years. We're talking about tax returns, 25 to 6, 1 year after the other. And now, there are some periodic moments when they do an audit just to make sure you're not cheating them. That's okay. But there's an interesting coincidence about this, that I got that notice of a coming audit just after an accident happened to my green card, which you all know about. So I went to the embassy and said, listen, this is a letter I've just received from the Internal Revenue Service. My green card is no longer usable. I don't want to be advertised as a tax dodger owing the United States money and being chased all over the world with letters and police. I said, I need to go in and answer the audit. And that's exactly what happened. I wish to emphasize that the United States consulate staff was very, very gentle, very courteous. I was treated, like a human being. Let's just put it that way, which is the way I believe all applicants for visas should be treated. And I left there without any problem. That was when I was issued this B1, B2 visa. I stress that over and over again because of some idiot in this country who still insists that I never got rid of that green card after Donald Trump was first elected to office. Now, why did an accident happen to my green card? I merely said it would happen, and it would happen, and it did happen. It's because I realized that many people were still skeptical about the new incumbent at that time of the presidency of the United States. And I said, you don't understand this man. You see, he's a philosopher. He's a philosopher of the school of the much abused ancient philosopher Heraclitus. And not to mystify that much misunderstood, misquoted philosopher, you can understand him by simply looking at Nigerian philosophy, most prominent and instructive of which was no condition is permanent. So you don't have to even go into the into Greek scholarship and sagehood. Just look at it, no condition is permanent. And so I said, this person coming in is just promoting that philosophy, which goes all the way back to the ancient Greeks, and of course, to the ancient sages of all societies. No condition is permanent. And I said, he would, however, I predict that his first mission in office will be to prove it by withdrawing all permanent documents, all so-called permanent documents, especially the permanent residence card. So I said, I'll save him time by having an accident happen to my green card, which took the form of my, you know, we humanists, we're always looking at gadgets. And unfortunately, when I was looking at my green card, it fell between the fingers of a pair of scissors, and it got cut into a couple of pieces. That's what happened to my green card. People say I destroyed it. No, I didn't destroy it. It just had an accident, that's all. But since then, I've been living, wait, let me make sure. Because very curious things happen to things which I say. That was a joke. I don't want to read in the papers, Soyinka started lying, saying that an accident happened to his green card. Oh, please, I have to be very careful. All right. So anyway, I no longer had a green card. That's what matters. That's how I came. I demoted myself by circumstances from permanent residence to just another tourist business entry and depart. By coincidence, when I read that letter of revocation, I actually had some American citizens visiting me. They came for the Badagry Door of Return Festival. And from there, they came to visit in Abeokuta. I wasn't there, but they were made at home, and you were able to go around the place and even have some palm wine. So to begin with, at the beginning, I said, could it be that they're angry that I'm hosting their citizens just when they're reconsidering, or they've invited me to bring in my visa for reconsideration? I don't know how many of you read or saw the press statement which I made at the time when I received a letter. We're going back now, 2 weeks before this letter, when I received a letter asking me to bring back my passport because certain facts may have come up since the visa was issued. And I was given a date to report at the consulate with my passport. I declined the invitation. First of all, I didn't like the date. Everybody knows what happened on that date, November 11, many years ago. So it was rather unfortunate that they picked that date. And I said, sorry, I'm superstitious. I'm not coming on that date. And then ultimately, I made it clear I was also not going to apply for another date to bring in my passport. So I left, I traveled out. When I came back, or even before I came back, I got a letter from the ambassador. What is that? What is our problem there? Is the house falling down or something? Just give me notice so I know which direction to run. So I got a letter from the ambassador. Very nice letter, very courteous. I wish always to stress this, that I have absolutely nothing against individual citizens as citizens of any nation. This is an issue which concerns the government. I have continuing good relationship with members of the consulate, the embassy. I received nothing but courteous treatment from them. I want to stress that. And so I received this letter in which he informed me that he was away when that letter was sent, and that if I would please give him a call, he would try and explain the circumstances and so on and so forth. When I came back again, I got a letter, a reminder that I should call him. So I called. We arranged a call meeting. I think it was 4 o'clock about a week ago. And he explained, and again he offered a special visit by me. I'd be received by the consul, and then they would ask a few questions about the possible facts which existed that they didn't know about when this visa was issued. He spoke, and he spoke frankly, and I said, shall I be equally frank with you? I'm not interested. It has nothing to do with me personally. It has to do with the treatment which I know, the brutal, cruel, and often unbelievable treatment being meted out to strangers, immigrants, even in some cases, permanent residents, which of course include quite a number of Nigerians. I know of a number of Nigerians who were turned back, who live in the United States, who've lived there all their lives. Some of them have businesses, they have grown-up children, families who are even citizens of our country, but who just left in the normal way to visit home, and then found at the airport they weren't allowed to get on that plane. Because in the meantime, either their visas were under examination or had in fact been revoked, but they were not allowed to go back there, etc., etc. I don't want to run into you all know what's been going on. It's all over the media. You have friends, you have families there. So I said, it's not about me. I'm not really interested in going back to the United States. I said, but a principle is involved. Human beings deserve to be treated decently wherever they are, wherever they drop their buckets, even places where they're just visiting briefly. I said, I'm sorry, I will not apply for a new date. So he sighed and said he was very sorry, but that meant that my visa would be revoked. I said, by all means, I'd be willing to receive the letter of revocation. And I assured him that both he and his staff are given permanent visa waiver anytime they want to visit the Autonomous Republic of Ijegba, situated in Abeokuta. There will be no reciprocal conduct from my principality. So he laughed, and eventually, of course, the formal letter arrived and I received it.
So guys, this video you just watched was reposted by Rufai Oseni. And the person who initially posted this video wrote and said, confirmation video of Professor Wole Soyinka in 2016, giving the US his green card. Fast forward to 2025, 9 years later. So it appears Wole Soyinka initially said he does not even need his green card. And now that they've totally revoked his visa, you know, he's now like regretting why that happened. Anyway, I'm going to take you through some of the reactions from Nigerians. As Rufai Hussein reposted this video, let's take a look. This person said, Trump only helped Soyinka realize his dream of returning his green card to the United States government. As he vowed to do should Trump win. Soyinka thinks Trump is Jonathan. Oh my God. He left during the first Trump term. Political statement by people in the art scene. Protest statement basically. But then he went and turned into a fascist himself by supporting the Tinubu's regime. This person say old age is not wisdom. First professor of cultism and Agboro in Africa tore his green card because of Trump's election, but he supported Tinubu in Nigeria, an old tribal bigot and hypocrite. This person, like I said before, this man was all that before he allowed Tinubu to start using him like MC Oluomo. This man was all. This person say it's funny how the entire Nigeria organized media failure to report this. The internet keeps receipts. It's funny how the entire Nigerian organized media failed to report this. This person say Mumu, his farm is overloaded with herdsmen. He has not solved Nigerian problem. Now to go America, go they take Panadol for their headache. His weak man, Tinubu, is a criminal and drug baron. Now Trump can't be his problem. And this person say, the only Yoruba man I can trust with my whole heart is Mr. Macaroni and Rufai Hussein. And this other person said, call him out for his inconsistencies. He's an inconsistent liar of an old age, at an old age. And another person here said, after he tore his green card, because the environment was not conducive for him, he now wants to go back there. White or gray hair is not synonymous to wisdom. Nigerians are too fast in fact-checking the crock of this elite group. A professorship or gray hair aren't sign of knowledge. Foolish people grow old too. Foolish people grow old too. This person said, this is one of the reasons why I like Tinubu as president. He's making nonsense of the people we thought had integrity. This person was saying, you should be ashamed of yourself. This person is saying, Rufai should be ashamed of himself for posting this. He pain him, not to go the France. This tribe would defend evil. They are here insulting Rufai for calling out Wole Soyinka. Confessor, you go nowhere. You must enjoy what you supported. So these are some of the reactions from Nigerians after Rufai reposted, Wole Soyinka. What is he looking for in the US now. Go and look for an elder in your family to lead us in protest this time around. Wole Soyinka is old. And this other person say he shouldn't be crying foul then because he won't store his passport. Why is he now complaining? Just because just saying so. Very typical African behavior. You no need them that time. Now them serve him. They serve him his desire. He want use emotional blackmail. At least them say make he go reapply. Okay, at least they say make him go reapply. Why is he crying over a US visa again? Old man that lies anyhow. Give up on green card now. Apply for visit visa. I think old age is the problem here. Say your mind, Omo Ale. Throw your tribal elder under the bus to prove to your Badre Messiah that you are walking. Karma can be real, a big fat liar. Make I know is that. Okay, what? Multi-journalist. If you dey drag any Yoruba man, trust go fire on fire. Animal journalists to be there. Oluburuku, you can cry. Your woman looking childless idiot. You woman looking childless idiot. Anyway, many Nigerians are saying that okay, Wole Soyinka tore his green card and now he's looking for America visit visa. So I'm just wondering what happened. This they said happened like 9 years ago. He tore his green card and today he wants his visa. He wants his visit visa. He's wondering why they revoked his visit visa. Like this person here said, confirmation visa of Wole Soyinka in 2026 giving up his US green card. Fast forward to 2025, 9 years later. That is after this time that his visit visa has been revoked. And he's saying he doesn't know why the US should revoke his visa. So people are now saying, okay, in 2016, they said he tore. I can't really know if he tore it, as in he destroyed it, or he rejected his green card. But now, in 2025, that his visa has been revoked, he's now saying he doesn't know why the US took that decision. Anyway, guys, I don't know what you make of this. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.